you some tips on building resilience. Resilience is our ability to bounce back after adversity has occurred. And that might be through an illness, it might be through a change that's occurred in your life, or it might be through some misfortune. In an organisational context, resilience and that need to bounce back can come about from a promotion that you didn't receive, or it can be working with a very difficult boss, and every day you have to go to work and your self-esteem may be lower, your ability to cope in those day-to-day role working with that person may be compromised. So it's times like these that we need to build upon our reserve of resilience. From a coaching context, in our coaching assignments with our clients, we often work around this area of resilience, and that is built into a coaching assignment where our client needs it. The other thing that's very advantageous with building resilience is to actually have a journal that you have with you every day and write down how you're finding your day-to-day challenges and how you go in building these areas of resilience. So if we look at the first thing to do, if you feel like you need to build some resilience, your self-esteem is feeling lower, is to draw up a scale from 0 to 10. So 0 being your lowest point and 10 being a very high point of resilience. And in that moment, just mark down where you're at, where you think you are, whether you're a 5 out of 10 or whether you're feeling quite low, a 2 out of 10. And that gives us a point of some honest assessment for what and how much you need to do to build your resilience. The second thing is to look at previous circumstances where you felt like this in the past, and to look at what resources you brought to that particular instance that helped you build your resilience. If there's some of those that you can apply to this situation, then draw upon those and use them in your current role. Also, at the beginning, it's important to have some acceptance of where you are. There's a therapy called ACT, which is Acceptance Commitment Therapy by Russell Harris. And in that, it looks at having some conscious awareness to the situation that you're in, looking at your thoughts and feelings and being receptive and open and interested in the situation that you're in. So it's a type of mindfulness therapy. After doing that and having a fairly good assessment of where you're at and some acceptance around it, look at the way you think. Thinking positively is very, very important, and the way we think often follows on to our behaviour. When you're feeling a little bit low, it's very easy to have a lot of negative thoughts. Be aware and conscious of those and try and turn them around to be more positive. When you look at the events that have occurred, you can't actually change what's happened. You can only take the learning and growth from them to help you move in the future. Also look at the big picture perspective. How does this event that's occurred fit into your whole life's plan, or the map of the bigger picture of your life at the moment? So try and gain some perspective of the situation and not let it totally control and dominate you. The third thing to look at when you're building resilience is to make lots of connections with people. Speak to your family and friends about the situation that you're in, and if it's in relation to a work problem, find a good mentor, someone that you can sit down and talk to about the issue that's occurred and what you need to do moving forward. It's important to have people that you trust and support you around you in those times. Point number 4 is to have goals. Perhaps your big goal that you're working towards hasn't worked out, but reassess this and create some smaller goals that you can move towards each day, but be very realistic about it. The key thing is to move forward and ask the question, what is one small thing that I can do today that'll help me move forward towards where I'd like to be? As I mentioned before, using a journal is instrumental and helpful in this process because it gives you the ability to look back and reflect upon your journey and the growth and resilience that you're developing at the time. Point number 5 is about self-discovery. Often out of adversity can come strength and growth if at that time we're open to look at it and accept it. Use this time to think about the positives that can come out of the situation in relation to increasing your self-worth or what's actually occurring at that moment of vulnerability that you can learn from. So take the time perhaps to look at your spirituality and take those learnings on a journey of self-discovery. The 6th point is taking care of yourself. It's really essential at those moments when you're feeling a bit down or a little bit vulnerable or your self-esteem has been dented, is to be kind to yourself. It's something that's often overlooked. Get the rest that you need. Do regular exercise. There's nothing like a hit of endorphins to help bring up your confidence and self-esteem and energy. Be kind to yourself in relation to recovering and listen to what your body and your mind needs in that moment. Another good thing is meditation for those people that are open to it. But meditation doesn't necessarily have to be sitting down with your legs crossed. Meditation can be a calmness that you bring to a walk along the sea, or half an hour's worth of swimming, where your mind is calm and your body's just focusing on the exercise. That's a form of meditation. I hope you've enjoyed hearing some key points in building resilience and that you can use these to apply to your own situation. I know I've used many of them in times where I've needed to build resilience, as have my colleagues, and we've found them very, very beneficial.